forgot.
Alright in your life.
I clicked on live.
I'm sleeping.
Pollution
Can I come this way?
everywhere, burning. More people lying
Okay, our
in the
listeners just
street.
need to understand that
Get
Tega
up and-
doesn't like to be seen like Hammers. I don't know why. Tega, I try my best for you,
Okay,
but
we're
you
ready.
don't want to do.
Fight to win. If you're tired of the mic.
Okay, so Kayode, please do that thing.
Sorry?
Please do that thing for me. I can't do that.
I didn't. What did do? What?
Thank you.
Quincy Quincy mention.
Okay.
Okay, mic's up.
Welcome inside the locker room.
Good morning, Lagos. Welcome back. If you just joined us, you are just in time. It's time for Locker Room 91 on Smooth 98.1 with Ayo and Kayode. And of course, Tega Supreme, Tega Tiger, is with us in the studio this morning. Good morning, Tega.
Good morning.
Good morning. She still has a bit of sleep
Good
in her
morning,
eyes.
Tega. How are
Getting
you
ready to
feeling
go.
this morning? Did you wake up on the right or the left side of bed?
Can we Lagos? Can we go into the first story?
Sometimes it gives me an indication of how the show would go, so it's a good way to start. But
Mhm.
let's go.
Lagos, don't forget you're welcome to be part of our conversation as always. Reach out to us on Twitter. We are at Smooth91FM. Please use the hashtag LockerRoom981. And don't forget there are 2 R's in Locker Room. Then, of course, you can also reach out to us on WhatsApp. The number to do that is 0809-444-0981.
On our first story for this morning, DeRozan fined $25,000 for tossing ball at referee. The nerve. Now, San Antonio Spurs forward DeMar DeRozan was fined a whopping $25,000 for flinging a basketball at official Scott Foster in the fourth quarter of Game 4 between the Denver Nuggets and Spurs on Saturday night. The NBA announced that the fine was due to DeRozan's recklessly throwing the basketball toward a game official and into the spectator stands. DeRozan said he wasn't thrilled after he was called for a charge by Foster with the Spurs down 110-92. DeRozan, who left the game with 19 points, 5 assists and 5 rebounds, said his ejection came from a combination of how the game went and Foster's call. Frustration, he said. I thought it was a bad call.
Yes, he thought it was a bad call and he reacted. It just made the day even worse because at the time they were just 8 points clear. It's not a game that they couldn't have managed, but they've been having a poor game all through. Their defense was horrible, and I think it was that defense that set up, you know how it is, that sets up the game for Denver to be able to win. So it wasn't just what the ref called that was bad. It was the whole performance of the team that was getting to him. And then when he thought he was getting into a rhythm, then you now make the bad call. But I don't think that's the way he should have reacted. Your reaction should be getting a few more buckets. But he decided to toss the ball. So he's paying that fine. It's pocket change. That's the problem with all these fines. $25,000. That's what they've got spending somewhere to eat chicken. But what it is that that series is now tied at 2-2, and it just makes it a little tougher. San Antonio Spurs is going to Denver next on, I think, on Wednesday, for Game 5. So that's how tough in the series is, and they need to get their head in a good space. But on the other hand, we have the first clean sweep of the NBA playoffs. Boston Celtics took out the Indiana Pacers by 4 games to nothing. Clean sweep.
Wow.
They didn't use broom. They used the vacuum cleaner to sweep them out. So, but I mean, it was expected that they would dominate the series, but a clean sweep. Let's see how it goes. But the NBA playoffs so far shaping up, and the guys are supposed to be coming out of this at the top. So let's
Right.
see how it goes.
All right, let's talk about Shukuma. Well, it says here 3 days of travel stressful for athletes. Now, as the African Junior Athletes Championship rounded off yesterday in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigerian athletes are bracing up for the long, hard trip back home. Now, speaking on their travails, Rosemary Chukuma, who disclosed that the journey was tedious, however, revealed her excitement winning triple gold medals for Nigeria. A quote here says, "Traveling here was very stressful, but I didn't put that on my mind because I know it's normal. It affected me during my race, but I tried my best to win the gold for my country. I know it wasn't easy, but I thank God for everything. It's not by my power, it's God. I'm very happy that I made my country proud, and I'm proud of myself too."
Yeah, it's the most ridiculous thing you hear, that athletes journeyed for 3 days to get to a competition. They arrived and they had to start the competition the next day. So you can imagine the fatigue, the body pains and all. And these athletes still went ahead to win gold. Some of them were setting season best and personal best records. So and yeah, you can say, oh, regardless of what it is, they are Nigerians and they're going to go out there and perform and keep winning gold medals. But this is not the way you treat your athletes. So they they were stressed to go. They've won, and whilst everybody's celebrating, they're debating how we're going to continue this trip.
Please,
back.
Tega, don't tell me
So
they
that-
drove to Abidjan.
Don't shout. I don't like the way you're shouting.
Oh no, because you know why?
And then
I had to
imagine running
read.
after that.
Yes,
I had to read the location again. That, oh, was it China? Was
No,
it
no,
New
no, no,
Zealand?
no,
Was it Papua
no.
New Guinea?
That's exactly why they took that risk. So it's not the safest of travels. It's not the most conducive of conditions. And these are junior athletes. So you tell me that after me setting winning gold records now, and somebody from Trinidad and Tobago comes, I will not quickly jump on their train because they can still switch now. They
Yeah.
can still switch allegiances. They're telling the world that in spite of the conditions, we can perform, and the world is saying, okay, I think I need one or two performers.
Yeah.
You can switch allegiances. So,
I have a question.
yeah.
Once you've established yourself in professional, competitive sport in one country, for one country, can you switch?
Oh yes,
Okay.
you can switch.
Asking
Alright.
for a friend.
You can switch. What's I'm looking at her. Gloria
Francis
Lozi.
Obikweli.
Oh,
She is very established as Nigerian. Then her fiance died. Wasn't treated well. She switched. She didn't think about it.
and this other guy, his name's Skibo, the one that said, I never experienced it. The man is setting records in America.
Yeah. So, but again, and that's another product of the Solomon Ogba. When he was sports commissioner in Delta State, those are the people he brought up, Divine Oduduru,
Yes, Oduduru.
Blessing Okagbari, and the rest. And so you see the conditions that he has there, and it's making him to excel. At some point, he didn't think he was going to be able to continue sprinting. All of a sudden, he's back in America, the right conditions, everything going right for him, and he's setting. So you can imagine what our athletes would do if they had everything working.
Oh, such a
Right.
shame. All right, let's go on to some more sports. In sporting news, Fabio Fognini beat Dusan Lajovic. I get it? Thank you. In final. So Italy's Fabio Fognini won a Masters 1000 event for the first time with a straight set victory over Dusan Lajovic at the Monte Carlo Masters. Now he beat Serbia's Lajovic 6.1 hour and 38 minutes.
Yes, the easiest one to see in this 1000 Masters. I mean, this Monte Carlo Masters put on the worst streak. Of course, Roger Federer wasn't here. He barely plays clay, and he said he was going to play this season, but you didn't expect to see him at Monte Carlo. But Novak Djokovic was knocked out by Medvedev. Not such a great performance, and Rafa Nadal was going through mental torture against Fonini. Fonini is the one guy that has beaten Rafa Nadal back to back in several tournaments, so he has his number. But so Nadal came into that match with the mindset that Fonini can beat him, and so he kept making all the errors. In fact, at some point, I thought he was going to a bagel in the second set. That's how disastrously he performed.
Okay.
But
I thought Nadal was one who did really well on clay.
yes, Nadal is king of clay.
Mm.
But when a player has beaten you several times, it causes you to rethink the way sometimes you approach a match. And so he was a bit overcautious. He was questioning everything,
Oh.
and Fonini was just riding the waves. So, I mean, how dominating Nadal has been on clay. This is it. He has won 11 times on this particular court at the Monte Carlo Masters. So it's somewhere he's comfortable with. But because he was facing a foe like Fonini that has beaten him several times,
Yeah.
he changed his game, and that's where the problem was. So the minute Fonini took out Rafa Nadal, it always seemed like this was going to be his title. He's old. He's 31, winning his first Masters.
Oh wow.
His wife won her first Grand Slam and then retired. Smart woman.
So do you think he's going to take the same
Of
same
course
line?
not. Of course not. I think the wife decided that we're going to just have this start this family, and both of us can't be traveling.
Yeah.
So she won the Grand Slam. She retired. They got married, and then they had a baby. So everything is happening back to back. I don't think he's just going to wake up and just say I'm gone. He's like, yeah. Just keep taking care of the baby. Let me try and get some money.
Yeah.
I'm almost old. I'm almost done. So let's see how it goes.
All right, Lakers. Tell you what you should do, though. You can get your messages to us just before we go on a break. 0809-444-0981. We are going on a break. When we get back, we'll get to those messages. Don't forget, also, you can reach out to us on Twitter. We're at Smooth981FM with the hashtag LockerRoom981. And like I mentioned at the start of the show, there are 2 hours in Locker Room, so get those messages in.
This is Behind the Session, and you're listening to Small 98.
Yeah.
Love music, love life.
It's off. It's off.
Don't do things at all.
Hmm?
Oh,
You put the button. I don't know why the volumes are a bit.
Loud or...
No, a bit low.
Oh, you don't pay all your NEPA bills.
Oh, I'm so happy that we are getting to the end of the show. Well, it hasn't been too bad. Oh, guys, hi everyone. We
it
love
hasn't been
being
bad
back.
at all.
No, it hasn't.
You know your head is not in that thing, man.
Oh, that's great then.
Your
You
head
just
is-
hear voices out and just accuse. That was Lakumi, by the way. Lakumi, why would you say something like that?
Just want to rest. So there was no light for, and then they brought the light. I think they brought the light by 3 a.m.
Oh my.
Maybe, yeah. So I'm just starting to sleep.
When you had to wake up. Oh my goodness. No wonder that your sleep, you slept it well. Because I looked at Tega, I saw your silhouette and I was like, you're not even playing. This one is-
I shut down. I'm going to get an app before I start to do all the things I came here to do.
So you're still going to remain afterwards.
Oh yeah. Once I come to the office, I might as well just do everything
Mhm.
before I do it.
I mean, I try to do it from the early morning so that once I'm done, I'm done.
Okay, we're ready.
Yes, indeed. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're here irrespective of what holiday, whether it's Christmas, New Year, Easter, we remain faithful. This is Smooth 98.1, the Locker Room 981. My name is Ayo Mairo Ese, and I'm here with...
Kayode Baker.
And of course, we have Tega, the tiger, in the studio with us as well.
Okay, so let's get to our news stories. We see your messages coming in. The one more time, if you just joined, it's 0809-444-0981. Okay, so let's talk about Manchester United. Big disappointment, right? But their manager here is saying something. He says, I don't know if Manchester United players care after Everton hammering. Now, Manchester United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer admitted he doesn't know whether all his players care enough after the 4-0 hammering by Everton. Asked afterwards whether he believed his players cared enough to play for the club, Solskjaer said, I don't know. You've got to ask them. I've asked them, you're not going to get the answer from me, but if you want to play at this club, it has to mean more. And he further said, we can't change the whole squad. One step at a time. I'm going to be successful here, and there are players that won't be a part of that.
Moreno, is that you? It really does sound like you. A blonde you. But here it is. You remember when I kept saying that these Manchester United players, it's a question of character. First of all, this breed of players that we have, this breed of footballers, it's just a sign of the times, the generation where everything is sharp and everything has to be delivered to them. So Solskjaer is coming from a period of where they had to work to get results. But I remember when he first came in and everybody thought the problem was Jose Mourinho. You're too angry. You're always abusing your players in public. You're doing this. You're doing that. And now Solskjaer, and you have to understand that Solskjaer is a very calm spirited person.
Okay.
So for him to come in public and be saying this,
So the problem is with the players then.
the problem starts, it's not just start from player, but the players are also part of a huge part of the problem. So to be blaming a coach at the time because you didn't like his manner of approach, or you didn't like the way he approached it, was ridiculous. And that was a well decorated coach. You haven't even won diddly squats. And you're coming to tell players now that I want to succeed here, so players not be Oga. You wake up in the morning, you be in Holland. Just be trying yourself. But what it is there is an attitude problem. And I've said this before. Pogba is a fantastic talent. He has a character problem. He cannot sustainably play, consistently keep that competitive spirit game after game after game. And that's why he cannot be the leader of your team. He needs a leader to sit on him, to set that fire on him. And so when you saw him at Juventus, it wasn't him churning out performances, wasn't because he was disciplined. It was because the other Italians around him were just like, guy, you know we are Italians. Just play your ball, or you will know what we'll do to you. So there was always that pressure. But now he's the big fish in the pond, and so sometimes he turns up, and other times he doesn't. And he's not the only name there. There are a lot of names. It was a generally poor display, and especially you're a team battling for top four. Tottenham had lost to Manchester City the next day, and so you had the opportunity to close up the gap. And you're playing against an Everton side that you have seen had beaten Arsenal and Chelsea. And then held Liverpool. I think they also beat Liverpool. Yeah.
Yes.
And they also beat Liverpool. So it was a team that you knew was ready to take your scalp, and you approached the game in a lackadaisical manner from the very get-go. Everton showed exactly what they were there for with their election chance in the first 5 minutes. So you knew that they were ready to take your scalp, and you still approach the manner in a below par way. So I think if you ask me, yes, Solskjaer is right to say that some players are not going to go with him if he's going to succeed. But he's the most important person here. Like I said, you cannot sack all the players, but you can sack one coach. So
you always say that.
Well, speaking of that, if again this weekend was another fantastic time on Questa TV. There was one EPL match on Questa TV. That one ended in a 2-2 draw. So impressive one there. But for you to be able to get your EPL matches for free every weekend, download the Questa iFlix on your smartphones so you can get it on the go, or tune into UHF 32 and watch a free Premier League match on Questa TV. And this is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official soft drink sponsors of the EPL.
All right, thank you very much. We have some comments, a number of people reacting to the Manchester United story. Femi here. Femi's full of jokes this morning. Femi says, someone said Everton beat Man United as if they're the ones that killed Jesus. Then he says, why would anyone say Everton beat Man U like they're the thief that stole Easter chicken? Femi, well done. I hope the Man U fans know your address. Chinwe Nancy says, good morning. Been waiting for this result. Nadal should just take 1 year off the court and come back stronger. Do you think so?
No, you guys are always waiting for people to retire, then they'll win and shame you people. Don't talk. Leave people to do their calendar. He's not in bad form. He was just in a bad headspace on the day.
All right. Don Juan from Festac has this to say. He says, absolutely shocking. People thought Mourinho was bad. Welcome to Ole at the wheel. I said at the time giving him the permanent job was a mistake, as the job is a huge one. Let's be realistic. Ole was a super sub and cult hero, really. All we ever talk about is 99 and the spirit of it. We're in 2019. That's long gone. We think a substitute who failed at Cardiff and couldn't win the Norwegian League is going to be our savior. Pull the other one. The panic culture at United needs to go, and we need to rebuild from the backroom structure. The manager and players are sixth place is our level right now. If Everton are consistent next season, then 7th might even be our new level. Still can't believe what I watched yesterday afternoon. Sorry, Don Juan, obviously so passionate about that. All right, let's move on to our next story. From Man U to Arsenal. Unai Emery jumps to defense of consistent Mustafi as a Crystal Palace gaff. Now, Emery jumped to the defense of Mustafi despite the Arsenal defender's calamitious, mistake. That English was enough to describe mistake against Crystal Palace. When asked about Mustafi's performance, he said, "He can play very well. I prefer to speak about the consistency in the season. We're helping every player to play with a big performance. Today also, when you can defend against Benteke and Zaha, you can suffer more."
Yeah, he's been consistently poor all season. Yeah, he's clumsy like that on big decisions. And yesterday's decision was so ridiculous. You're with Zaha one-on-one and battling. And he did not even calculate the distance between himself and Ben Leno. He was expecting that Leno will come out and try to collect the ball when he should have continued holding Zaha off. And it wasn't just that mistake. He was also missing when the third goal came in, the header came in. And then MacArthur scores, and Mustafi starts looking around and saying, why wasn't anybody picking him up? MacArthur, and I'm looking at him and saying, Mustafi, MacArthur is right beside you. You're the one that should be picking him up. That's your zone. You should be covering that zone. So he consistently makes this mistake, and it's a big game. It's a tight game. Again, an opportunity to take advantage. As if Arsenal had won the game at home against Crystal Palace, they would have gone 2 points clear of Tottenham. And so you put yourself under less pressure. Now you lose a game against Crystal Palace. Yes, it's a London derby and it was always going to be tough, but you lose a game against Crystal Palace and you lose ground because their next game is against Wolves on Wednesday, and Arsenal are very poor travelers. They haven't traveled well this season. Arsenal as a team has been poor travellers. But what even makes it worse is that Unai Emery's away record in all his clubs is also poor. So it's from the manager to the player and to the form of the season. And so thinking that you will lose a game against Crystal Palace at home and then go and pick one up on the road, in as much as it's doable and it's not impossible, it's a bit too ambitious. Deal with the game in front of you. And so they didn't play very well on the day at home, a game they could have taken advantage of, and they've dropped a pace behind. Chelsea's right behind them. Chelsea plays today against Burnley, and Chelsea may win that game. So it pushes you out of top four. So your top four ambitions may be to win the Europa. The only way to get back into Europe now may be to win Europa.
No,
but this battle is still on.
I was going to say, please, Arsenal fans, keep the faith.
This battle is still on.
Wow.
We have so many comments. I hope we'll get the opportunity to go through as many of them as possible.
Okay, so there are more stories here to share, but don't forget, let's get into our WhatsApp messages if you want to be a part of the conversation. 0809-444-0981. Let's talk about Barcelona, shall we? So Barcelona are closing in on their 8th La Liga title in 11 years after Clement Lenglet and Jordi Alba both scored in a 2-1 win over Real Sociedad on Saturday.
Really, Barcelona plays against Alaves, and if they win that game and Atletico Madrid lose their game, then that's enough to seal the title officially, because it's 9 points in between them. But if Atletico Madrid do win their game on Wednesday, then Barcelona will have to win against, I think, Leganes, and that will be it. So they know that one, they have it in the bag, but it's pretty close to achieving, and it's going to be a big deal. I mean, people say Farmers League. These are people that are playing in a league that have Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid, and have consistently managed to dominate in that league. So I think it was a tough game on Saturday. The normal scorers couldn't get goals. No Messi goal. He struggled all through the game. Suarez was even poor. The way he played on Saturday, I agreed with some of the Manchester United fans. Yeah, he looks overweight. Because that's how poorly he played.
Talk about the man's weight.
Goals didn't come from the right places. It came from Longley and Jordi Alba. Those are defenders. And those are not things you see that are common with Barcelona. But that's the thing about this Barcelona team. They haven't always played beautiful on the eye, but they're resilient, they're persistent, they're dogged, and they try to squeeze out as much results as they can. So they did the job. They managed to do the job against Sociedad on Saturday, and let's see what they'll do midweek. I think they can do the job. But I was watching, when you watch those teams, you think about their next big opponent. So I'm looking at Barcelona side that played on Saturday and the Liverpool side that played against Cardiff on Sunday. And I'm saying Liverpool has a better team than Barcelona. I'm not talking of the quality of players, I'm talking of the team dynamic. And so Liverpool has a better team dynamic than Barcelona. So it will be a struggle. And what makes it even worse is that the second leg is at Anfield.
Wow.
So for me, it's going to be a struggle for me to see Barcelona come out of that two-legged tie victorious. But I'm waiting to be shocked.
All right, let's see if you'll be shocked. But let's take some comments. Not many shocking ones, but very funny, interesting. Many people upset at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We'll just take a few of them. We have Emmanuel here from Ikeja who says, I think Unai was really the problem and was team selection. At the first half, El Neni was not in form and no creative player to push the ball. Well, the one Arsenal have is going.
And this one from Mr. Lava says Liverpool has lost only one game this season and it's only to Man City and not Everton.
All right.
All right.
All right. So
Thank you for that
someone
one.
actually said on Twitter that it was a draw.
It was a draw. Yeah, okay, it was
Yeah.
a goalless draw.
Big T says Everton beat Manchester United 4-0. It's now clear the owners of Everton are not Christians. Where was their Easter spirit? Christ died and rose again. Manchester United died, but sorry, Ole cannot resurrect them, says Big T. Wow, people are full of jokes today.
All right.
Chimabi
Timo Victor
Victor
has the last one in.
Well, he says, congrats to my darling Everton for disgracing Man United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Wow.
All right, Lagos, let's go on our final break. When we get back, we'll do some more talking and get to those messages that you have sent in.
Okay, because I thought they held them, but then again.
Yeah.
Why did they load so much ads in this place? 5. Is it always this much?
Is that?
What? Is it always this much? The ads? 5 in one block.
Yeah. For sports, I don't know. They said putting them up. So that's why when we come back, we'll just take a few more comments.
Messages.
No, we have to take Italian Serie A because they won the league there.
But it's already 8:40.
Yeah,
and we
just
have...
mention it.
Okay, just for mention.
They have to because Juventus have won the league.
Okay.
PSG have won the league.
Okay.
The same principle is applicable to your money.
I'll just mention it. I'll do it in one mention.
Okay.
It should always be hard at work, making more money for you day and night, 24/7, delivering valuable returns that help make your dreams come true. Did I hear you ask how iInvest can make your money work non-stop? Well, iInvest works by allowing you to safely purchase and manage treasury bills and other investment instruments from the comfort of your phone. Meaning, your idle money is instantly put to work round the clock to generate profits for you while you're asleep. To learn more, visit www.iinvestinvesting.com.
There's nothing overweight about him. He's tall and huge. He's very well fit.
Oh, Suarez, right?
No.
It looks like he's overweight, Chow. That's Lukaku.
Okay, be careful. I thought it was
It's not overweight. It's not even remotely overweight. It's just he's a huge lad.
Suarez.
Suarez has a small pot belly. I mean, how can you get 38 games a season and have a pot belly? Who does that?
We're flying at 30,000 feet. I'll be your host, and if you need anything,
Bing bong.
now please sit back and relax, or sit forward and practice that selfie face. It's up to you.
Well, you're right. I think that if they keep playing like that for Champions League, they're dead. Liverpool would not destroy them.
With some car insurance, you pay a lot and have covers you don't want. And with others, you pay little. But then you're not well covered. To avoid this
I'll put a short line
Axel
here.
Mansard has Auto Flex, the car insurance that you choose and pay only for the covers you want. This way, you pay what you want. Above all, you'll be as protected as you want. It's easy and quick to do from your mobile, tablet, or computer. Take out your car insurance with ease at Axel
Smooth
Mansard.
98.1.
This is
By Axel Mansard.
Well, you see, you can't be calling him video call.
Smooth.
Breakfast Show.
They're the ones whose laughter brightens up our world. Whoever you are, you're welcome to join the
funny.
Samsung Galaxy A series family, where you'll find the ideal smartphone with bigger, brighter infinity display.
I'll call him. I'll call him. Ah. Thank God I put this phone on silent. Too.
But I had many calls.
I'll was trying to reach people yesterday to set up for today.
Kellogg's Torah.
A10 and A20 are as sleek and affordable as they come.
Rather, to set up for the week. And it's today they are coming.
At least this one is a good song.
And Tega series.
What's the purpose when they didn't make me the ambassador?
Okay.
Just for trying.
Okay, we're ready. 9 seconds. Okay. That's right. This is the Smooth Breakfast Show, and you're welcome once again to be part of the program. It's Locker Room 981 with Tega Supreme, Ayo, and Kayode. Real quick, let's get to those messages we talked about.
Well,
just
before
before
the
break.
messages, I think let's take a final story here so that we can then just end with the messages. Right, so Ronaldo, the future, but Juventus need more to conquer Europe. Massimiliano Allegri insisted that Ronaldo was the future of Juventus, while Ronaldo has also said he's 1000% committed to staying. He's just telling us that Allegri's side claimed an 8th consecutive Scudetto
Yes.
on Saturday.
So that's another team that has claimed that. I mean, this was settled since, but they had to wait. It was mathematically impossible for Napoli, who played today, to catch up with Juventus. So congratulations to Juventus. They won the Italian Serie A. Also in France, PSG have won the Ligue 1 title. So.
Congratulations, PSG. Congratulations, Juventus.
Yeah, another title in the bag for Cristiano Ronaldo. Ty from Yaba says Manchester United were crucified. Everton spelled Man U. Imagine if it was 6-0. If Arsenal are shown the door to success, they'll clamp down and not enter. Mustafi is working for the opposition. Chelsea might just follow the ugly trend. Okay.
All right, final comment here. I think we're taking one from there. Let's go to Twitter, actually. We have abandoned our Twitter folks for this morning's show. So let's go there to take a final comment here. All right. Ogbeni Kemafe says, I'm ready for Manchester United. And that's from Femi from Festac. That's cheating. So I'll take another comment because Femi, you've been on our WhatsApp radar. MI from Akoka says, we Arsenal fans should open a GoFundMe for Mustafi and pay off the wages of this low-budget Sergio Ramos. So we have we can have peace or loan him to Huddersfield. Man City and Everton helped us do the Lord's work, but some players won't just get to the program. Nonsense and ingredients.
I agree with you, Emma.
Nonsense and ingredients. All right, Lagos, that's all we can take this morning. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. But great programming continues. Don't forget, coming up after this, it's Lagos Talks 981. But before that,
you can find Tega at Tega Supreme on Twitter and her work with young women at LIS International. Please follow her. And of course, look, you can see her on YouTube. I'm sure you forgot that people could see you, or you can see her and see all she was doing while I was, talking about her Twitter handle. But please follow her and follow us at Smooth 981 FM.
all right, Lagos, good morning.
Morning.
Why people taking my picture?
Let me go and turn it on. Yeah.
People be taking my picture for free. I have what they call it? Image rights.
Your face is half
Sure. I have image rights.
That's amazing going on.
I have a lot of work.